Hi there, this is Cindy, your host of The Kindness Advantage, where in 10 minutes or less, I will share ways you can implement kindness into your business, your personal life, your organization, or just your professional life in general. And today's topic is Hello 2024. I have taken a break from my podcast. For those of you that were loyal listeners, at the end of the year 2023, I was planning on coming back uh, closer to the end of the year to kind of recap everything. However, life took a horrible turn, and I was unable to actually be physically well enough to do a podcast. And today, even, is a struggle. But I wanted to kind of rip the band aid off and get back to this. And I know it's important. I actually really do enjoy sharing my information through the podcast. Um, and so I thought it was time to get back. So, for those of you that may have not seen on my social or just don't know in general, um, in November, my husband had a planned surgery up at Mayo in Minnesota, and everything was planned and set to go. And so I was actually just taking off November and most of December. That was my plan for not only my business but also this podcast and all the other things that I'm supposed to be doing. So he had the surgery on November 16th, and according to the surgeons, it was deemed successful. However, my husband Scott ran into multiple different obstacles and setbacks, and unfortunately lost his battle on December 8th when he passed away. And those 3 weeks at Mayo were really, really tough. And honestly, we didn't even talk about the possibility of him dying. We knew the surgery was risky, but we didn't really put it out in the universe that death was a possibility. And I don't know, looking back now, of course, we do a lot of reflecting when life gets turned upside down. I don't know if he thought or had thoughts that he wasn't going to make it through, and he was just protecting me by not bringing it up, or if he really thought that this was going to be a success and his life was going to be so much better because of the surgery. And I'll never know. But unfortunately, that meant that my business and my podcast and everything else that I do kind of got put on the back burner. And it's been 6 weeks since he's passed. And just like reflecting back, man, I was really lucky to never have to deal with grief before like this. It is something else. It's a crazy beast, honestly, and some days I don't even know how I'm going to function. And other days I can go and act up as if it's mostly normal, just missing him. But a day doesn't go by that I don't think of him and I don't cry. Really holding back the tears right now, and I'm sure you can tell in my voice. But I am 49 years old and have never had such a great loss. And honestly, I think I'm blessed for that. I know people have had loss early on in their lives. In fact, my husband had lost his father when he was 14 or 15. So he had dealt with grief and loss before. And I'm also very grateful that I had a short period of time with my husband. Again, for those of you following along, we were newlyweds, basically, just married over a year and looking forward to a lifetime together. Now, I'm not on here for sympathy. I'm not on here for to tell you about my grief story. I just wanted to let my listeners know that my break was needed, and I'm going to do my best to keep going with the weekly podcast. I know my husband Scott would want me to. I know he wants me to get back into doing the work that I do, and I know he's there rooting for me and cheering me on. It's so much different to not have him by my side, but we'll get through it. I've been through a lot in my life, and I was so grateful to have him part of it, even if it was a short period of time. So, hello 2024. I'm starting out as a complete mess, and that's okay. I have taught myself that kindness to ourselves is really important, and I take that very seriously. So I am treating myself with kindness and grace as I navigate this new life. And I hope that at some point in time, my grief story will be weaved into my story of kindness and towards others. I have experienced a lot of kindness while he was in the hospital, as well as since he's passed, and it really warms my heart. I've also experienced unkind people, and it still surprises me to this day how people can be so unkind, especially to those that are suffering. It's like they just put that dagger in a little bit further and twist it some more. But I'm not one to dwell on those nasty people. I'm here to shed light and positivity and kindness, so that's what I will do. I have a season. This is going to be season 2 of my podcast. I have a season, and I have some really cool ideas that I had started dreaming up before the end of 2023. So this is going to be a continuation of that. But I plan on having more guests. I had one guest, and it went really well. And you know what? I actually like having a friendly face on the other side of the computer and sharing kindness stories as well. So I'm excited to be sharing some guests that have reached out to me, and I've reached out to them to have on my show. And if you are listening and you would like to be a guest on my podcast, please let me know. You can find me on my social. You can private message me, or you can send me an email. I would love to have you as a guest. I have just a few ideas written down that I wanted to share with you that you could look forward to for this podcast in 2024. And not only am I going to be focusing on the workplace, which is where I do a lot of my speaking. I speak to organizations and businesses about the power of kindness in the workplace. So I'm going to extend that here as well. One of the things I have written down is building a kindness-driven team and how leaders can do that. So very excited to share that with you. Another one that I had written down was kindness in relationships and building stronger connections. Um, and yeah, that it's kind of funny that's one of the things I wrote down for these past few weeks have happened. And then because New Year, we always think about our mindset, and I had written down cultivating a kind mindset. So I just wanted to give you a sneak peek at what the season will be holding. I'm sure I will be sharing bits and pieces of my grieving process, my mourning process, and this new life that I have been dealt. And again, if you've been following my story, you know I haven't had an easy life. I haven't had a horrible life either. I've had my amount of struggles and roadblocks, and I've gotten over them, and I've become a stronger person, and it actually has molded me into the person I am today. So I truly believe that there was a reason God placed Scott in my life and me in his, even if it was for a very short season. Uh, and it will create the new version of Cindy for what I had to watch him go through and endure, and as I figure out this life without him. Um, and part of me is really excited to see what that new version of Cindy looks like. I thank you so much for listening. If something here touched you in a way, I would love to hear a comment from you. Again, not sharing my story for condolences or for anybody to feel sorry for me. But I just thought I owed my listeners um, an explanation of where I've been these past few weeks. Actually, a couple months, because I think my last episode was in October. But yes, I will end it like I ended it last season, and I will end it always with this statement because I truly, truly believe it. Together, we can create waves of change through kindness. I'll talk to you soon.